What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And ladies and gentlemen, happy Thursday to ya. Hallelujah. You see who I'm with, my guy from the hottest place in America, South Carolina, Will Kramer. What up, Will?
Hey man, what's going on? What shirt do you got on there, huh? Show us your shirt.
Yeah, buddy.
Commander.
Yeah, buddy.
That.
Now, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I crossed over. I am now a commander, and it feels good, Will.
Yeah.
Great. I don't know. I like it, man. I saw. Now, I got to say the backstory.
Okay.
Remember, there's some headphones that we had talked about earlier that I had gifted a certain significant other. Well, certain things came out, and so somebody had to repay. So when I came home, this was just draped over my little computer set. So I came out wearing it, and she's like, "Oh, you like your gift?" I said, "Yeah, we're good now. We're good."
That's so funny, dude. That's hilarious.
So that's how we're wearing it. I like it. I'm excited, and right in time for the 2022 season. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, now you know. Football is back. Preseason. We know the Hall of Fame game started last Thursday, but all the real preseason actions start today, starting with two games. Baltimore is playing Tennessee. Baltimore is up 7-0. Obviously, no Lamar, none of the big name guys. And another game, New England is playing the Giants. The Patriots up 7-3. Interesting question there. You know, Mac Jones lost a lot of his offensive coaches.
Yeah.
And, let's see. Is he going to do something in year two, or is he going to have a sophomore slump? That's going to be interesting to look at.
So you want to know a little nugget? This is kind of Belichick genius here. So apparently, if Belichick doesn't name Matt Patricia coordinator, the Lions are going to have to pay his salary. But if he gets like some type of like position, like obviously head coach or a coordinator, then it's voided. So Belichick just calls him a defensive assistant. He gets a free coach.
God,
I mean, is that man not playing chess with the world here?
He knows what he's doing. He knows what. That's why he is the great one, man. Oh my goodness gracious! It should be very interesting. We know, we all know Matt Patricia. If you don't know him, ladies and gentlemen, that's all you need to know. A pencil. Even when he has a laminated play sheet, he's got a pencil in there. So that's all you need to know about Matt Patricia, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. But look, we're talking about it. Preseason is here. Training camp is in full swing. Well, let's get right into training camp, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. So training camp is upon us. We talked about it a lot last time we were on here, and we're going to continue to go on and just kind of give you a little recap. Some of the things that we've been seeing. Will, as we know, Wentz has been the topic of a lot of our conversation, but there's a lot of other spots that have actually been shining. What are some of the things that you've seen thus far in training camp, starting with the end of that first week up to now?
Yeah, well, the first part I'm going to start off with is a little bit on the field, but also off the field, is the fact that they had a special Saturday night practice at FedEx Field.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the second year they've done this. And I'm going to give the team some props on this. That's a really cool event because, they're out at training camp in Ashburn in Virginia. The Ravens have had so much success for years now where they're kind of pulling some of those fans. And so to do something at FedEx, to hit some local that's free, hit some fans that, I can remember at one point, preseason might have been the only time I went to a game, in the given year. You get some fans there that come to the stadium, kind of see it, get to interact with the players. They did some 11-on-11s, but it kind of kept it an easy practice. But I think it's really cool. I think it breaks up the monotony of training camp, gets your players on the field for the first time. You're under the lights. Everyone gets excited when you're under the lights. So I really thought that looked good. There's some, talk of Wentz being a little out of sorts on that one, kind of a little inaccurate, but that's kind of been the theme that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
for a lot of training camp. But I just thought it was a really cool idea. I thought the uniforms looked good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. That the gold jerseys like that the quarterbacks wear
Yeah.
with those burgundy pants, I'm like, that's what needs to be the alternate jersey.
Right.
I was like, it's plain, it's simple, but it looked good. And then the other thing, and I don't know if they're wearing holdovers and just waiting for week 1 to fully show it, but it looked to me like they were wearing the old pants with the gold and white stripes.
Right down the side, yeah.
This is the nerd in me, this is the Redskins geek, but like,
bring it back.
Yeah, I thought it looked good. I was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. I thought every like mock-up of the uniforms has always been red. It's just been burgundy, and I was like, oh, wait, so like that goes with the helmet. So like the white looks really good with all that,
exactly.
And they're going to open up the season on Saturday and week 1 wearing the white. So there's just a couple more pieces coming together that, like you just said, are tying us together, bringing us back to this right here.
Oh yeah.
And so that to me, like, there's been some ups and downs at training camp. Some guys are flashing, some guys aren't. But to me, like, that was what caught my eye this last week is the nerdy stuff, the off the field, the uniform looks, the helmets, that type of stuff. What about you? What have you been seeing?
To your point about the night practice, look, there's a reason why college basketball has the midnight madness. You know what I mean? Where everybody comes in and they have their game or whatever, and it's so hyped, it brings all the attention and everything. The fans want to see that, and then having it under the lights. There's a reason why they call it Friday Night Lights, why Saturday night games are so great in college, and Monday Night Football, Thursday night. Something is different when it's under the lights. And I love that they brought that to us, because that's what fans want to see, that excitement. Bring us in, get us excited. One of the things that we've talked about towards the season, the fight song and that kind of stuff, and how they're going to be playing it on Saturday for us, and not really concerned what we sing to that. Bring it together. Keep bringing it together. Honestly, but as far as training camp, like you said, we got to take all the things that we've heard from Carson Wentz, all the struggles that he might be having, all the, how the defense is playing. We got to take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? They're not, we've talked about them not game planning for the defense. So the defense is teeing off. What I will say, though, somebody that I'm very excited to see showing up on that defense in the secondary, we talked about him before, Kendall Fuller. Kendall Fuller is, going off. Okay, I think at one point he had like 4 interceptions at like all one a day. You know what I mean? He was just he's learning and leading by example, but he's kind of learning this, figuring out where he needs to be. I am very excited to see something like that. And I think that's contributing to the struggles that the offense is having. So it doesn't really worry me as much that Carson Wentz might be struggling a little bit, because of the fact that if the defense is starting to play up, like Montez Sweat, like we talked about, and Darius and Deron Payne, if they're starting to play big, okay, it makes sense. It makes sense, and you want to see them playing big, but the secondary is somewhere where we really needed focus. But what other positions, what other like things have you seen, like players, like who is stuck out to you?
Yeah, so I just listened to an interview with Tress Way, and it goes to exactly what you talked about. And he said, Tress was like, sometimes we get finished with our drills for the day, and we turn. He goes, and we just watch the receivers and DBs go at each other. Yep. And he said, man, it's something. He goes, we got some talent on this team. And he said, sometimes there are throws there where he's like, William Jackson got caught by McLaurin, and he was like, the coverage was great, the throw was better.
Yeah.
And they made the completion. And then he said, and this is what we keep talking about, we're starting to just not appreciate this guy enough. I think we're just getting too used to it. He goes, Jahan catches everything.
Yeah.
And they just said, it doesn't even make noise when it just vacuums right into his hand and goes like, and he's just catching everything out there, and multiple coaches. And this was kind of interesting. So I also heard a pod with Jay Gruden this week. And they were asking him what were some of his regrets when it comes to preseason. Yeah. And he talked about, well, I trotted out Darius Geis, and in 7th place, he blew out his knee and was gone for the year. He goes, I purposely did not play Terry because I didn't want anyone in the league to know what I saw, what we knew. with him. So it was kind of interesting to hear, everyone's hyping up Jahan, and everything. But he's like, sometimes these teams got to be quiet about what they're seeing.
Exactly.
The last little nugget I heard, this was on Friday, was an interview with Scott Turner. And he said, when it comes to Carson and training camp, he said, yeah, we hear that he's struggling. We hear the nationwide narrative is he's struggling. He's like, we're trying to find what stuff he does well.
Yeah.
So that we know what he does well to move forward with. So to me, it kind of went back to that whole like training camp is the time to learn, is the time to try this out, to find out what routes are too slow developing for him. Because if Montez Sweat's getting in the background yelling, throw it, maybe that's not the right play. So it's like, instead of us getting so worried about the inaccuracies or interceptions, maybe it's like they are feeling everything out still. And it's the second week of all the players. So that's going to be my Redskin, glass half full take.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, hey, look, absolutely right. At the end of the day, this is when you work out the kinks. This is when you fix all of these things. So the fact that it's happening right now, I'm not concerned with now. Come Saturday, if we're still having the same thing with people that don't know, the defenses that don't know what our offense is doing, then I'm going to be a little concerned. You know what I mean? But I mean, back to your point about Jahan Dotson. Look, for little known fact, ladies and gentlemen, Jahan Dotson went to Penn State. You know who Jahan Dotson's teammate was at Penn State?
Roommate.
Yeah, roommate. I mean, Micah Parsons. All right. So I was watching Good Morning Football this morning, and he was talking about, me and him, like they like to talk a lot. They go back and forth, and the fact that he gets to play him 2 times out of the year it gets him more hyped and more amped for that. And I love that, because now that gives him something to be jacked up for. But look, to be honest, he has to do what he is doing. If we get a healthy Curtis Samuel, if Terry does what we know Terry can do, Jahan's going to have to get in where he fits in. And I think that's why we've been seeing him, returning some kicks a little bit, returning some punts, getting him and wherever we can get him on the field, because that wide receiver room is crowded. And when I say crowded, I mean, there's not enough balls to go around, and you got Terry getting his, Curtis going to get his, Jahan, obviously, and then the 2 backs, and we're not even talking tight ends, so Jahan is doing what he needs to do, and I'm so eager to see him. But when we talk about somebody that needs to shine, I'm staying in the wide receiver room, because I already know you got a couple things on here about Maryland, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about my guy. Ladies and gentlemen, not just one report, but 2 or 3 reports that said one of the highlights coming out of early training camp is Dyami Brown. He has been playing his butt off with had a couple major catches. One, I wish I had the clip, but I didn't get it on here, where he goes up there against the aforementioned Kendall Fuller. Kendall, they're going to the deep ball. Everybody in the background is like, oh, it's intercepted. Kendall looks like he's got it, and all of a sudden you see Dyami take it from him and just walk off like, yeah, I got this. Let's go. I love seeing that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Everybody knows I was the one saying Dyami all last year, and he might as well have been called "Where in the World is Dyami Brown?" because we didn't know he was just not able to come out and do anything last year. Maybe a little bit was that of the quarterback and Heineke and not being able to get it deep to him, because Jahan in 2020 at North Carolina was a burner. He was one of the top deep threats in the country. You know what I mean? So to have him come here and we really can't throw it over the top like that really hurt him. He's shining now. And I think it's more of, like I was saying with Jahan, with Dyami, I have to shine. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna be buried deeper and deeper in that depth chart if I do not perform now. So Dyami has been showing up in training camp. I need to see him do something on Saturday. That is somebody that I got my eyes fixed on.
Oh, I mean, it would be amazing if he was. I keep telling you, like, my hope is he's Aldrick Robinson this year, where he gets forgotten and he flies past the DBs and they're like, what? Oh, they turn around. He's in the end zone catching a bomb. Like, I hope that, like, obviously I rip on you for where he came from, but I want him to be that guy that we drafted. Let's hope that the early stuff sticks.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. Got another mention, but we're to talk about it a little later, so I'll throw it into that. Do you have anybody else or anything else that kind of caught your eye thus far in training camp?
From what I'm hearing, the DBs, the safeties.
Yeah.
Now, well, first off, they actually do say how Cam Curl might be a stud this year, that he's kind of the leader back there on defense and he can do it all. So I'm certainly hearing, there's a lot of praise for him, but it's between Derek Forrest and Percy Butler are two guys that they're saying, and especially Derek Forrest, where, because he didn't play last year at all much. And I knew they drafted him. They drafted him saying that he was a box safety. So honestly, when we drafted him, I'm like, this is Landon Collins' replacement. I didn't think we'd cut Landon Collins as soon as we did, but I was like, this is probably the guy that's going to take his spot. And then he was out hurt, and then he was only doing special teams last year. So I thought it was a little early for us to be saying, like, he's your third safety. Right. But right now, as we go into preseason game number 1, he's the third safety on the field. And so to be a part of that rotation with Cam and with Bobby McCain, and they're testing him deep and he's making plays.
Good. Okay.
If you're a box safety, but now making plays in the deep end, that's good. That's some good progress. So I'm hearing some good things about him. We'll have to see if it translates to the games coming up here in preseason.
We definitely will. And because keeping on the secondary, because of his kind of movement up and getting more attention, one of the guys has kind of been pushed down and onto a pseudo roster bubble, if you will, Jeremy Reeves. Yeah. We've discussed him a lot, and a lot of it is just the fact that there are people that are performing ahead of him, and he's down there. But a lot of it is also, look, he's 5'11", 206. He's deemed undersized for that position. So he's really going to have to show out in these remaining games. And I don't even know if that's going to be enough if the guys that are slated ahead of him continue to do what they do, So we'll definitely see. And there's a number of others on that, but we'll definitely see what happens. But again, there's a lot to look forward to coming into this Saturday for our first game. Absolutely. So ladies and gentlemen, hey, we got to move on real quick.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders. There it is.
It still makes me laugh every time.
Always. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on because even though it is training camp, a lot of times you keep a lot of the guys that you have as far as players and coach, or actually the players are the ones that are normally on the bubble. The coaches are the ones that are normally sticking around, but sometimes you got to make a move. And Will, I'm interested to see your opinion about it. Sam Mills the third. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know that name, his father, the late, great Sam Mills, just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. Great Saints and Carolina Panther. Great, but Sam Mills III, our defensive line coach, was let go recently. And Will, from a lot of the reports that I've heard, he just didn't have the ear of the defensive line.
This when this news came out, I did the whole Anton reaction.
Wait, you mean
what? What?
That's exactly what I did. Because I think, like everyone said, during training camp,
right?
Firing him during training camp,
right?
So here's what is surprising to me is we do hear, now that it's happened, you get to hear from some of the folks who kind of knew things but held back information. Some of the reporters came out saying, yeah, we knew there was friction. We knew that some of Chase and Montez didn't really like some of his teachings. Apparently, Matt Ioannidis hated it in 2020 when he came in, and he wanted him gone or wanted out, which is really surprising because this is also a guy who taught some really good defensive ends in Carolina. And so being a part of that is kind of like, and I remember in 2020, now this is coming back, it's like, oh yeah, there was some friction. And we kind of said, hey, you need to listen to this guy. He's coming with experience. But it certainly turns out that things were not going right. And my only thought process is that he came back at training camp and whatever they thought they hashed out in the offseason, he wasn't doing.
Right.
You know, he was not listening to what Ron and Jack Del Rio want and what the player, want them to be doing is what I can only think, because the timing is really weird. Before we get into the new coach, what did you think about the whole thing?
I mean, if you did the Anton what, I did the Nathan Snell.
Really?
Again, it's about timing. At this point, I'm like, that's not the thing that I need to be worried about. My coaches, you know what I mean? Especially after a couple, a month or so ago with Jack Del Rio and all that stuff. Like, I should not be having to worry about my coaches coming into the season, and then to let him go like this is kind of like, are you serious right now? So that to me, once you start diving into it, like you said, doing the research, realizing that, I just had a problem with them, realizing that our guys, our studs, who are all a lot of alphas, let's be honest with that.
Yes.
A lot of them had issues with him. That really kind of, it makes you go back and look at last year like, okay, is that, I mean, the injuries did come in to play a lot, but it's like, okay, we still couldn't get it together in a lot of periods of time. What was going on? You know what I mean? And now you're starting to, you start to peel the layers of the onion back. You're seeing that he was a detriment. I mean, at least in that locker room. I mean, 2 years, he was our D-line coach. And you think of those 2 years and we won the NFC East championship. But let's be honest, it was a very, very poor NFC East with a string of poor quarterbacks that we played. Yeah. And then last year, we had the obvious woes. You know what I mean? So it just makes you kind of understand that, hey, I like this in a sense, not to play like it, love it, hate it, but I like it in a sense because we're correcting ourselves. Okay, we're holding everybody accountable. This isn't working. We're willing to make the move and not say suck it up and deal with it like might happen in other places. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a great point. I mean, like you said, that sent a message to all the coaches. Like, I think it showed a little bit of like, there actually is more pressure on this team to perform than what they want to let on. And it was kind of letting the other coaches know, like, we need you to perform and hold your own. But as you kind of said, I like this from the fact that if we're shedding some bad feelings between players and a bad, relationship, I really like what we have in the locker room now. Yeah. Jeff Sganina's come in and he was the assistant D-line coach, and now he's taken over. He's very hands-on and has been at training camp. And so he's really getting a chance, like, the guys know him. He's right in the thick with all of them. The other thing that I like about him that has, me being I'm not there and I don't know how to coach defensive line, though, is he played for the Rams for many, many years. He did not have the strength and athleticism of Aaron Donald.
Right.
But he played in the league for many, many years. I think almost maybe 17. So you know what that tells me? This guy is a technician master.
Right.
And I feel like what he can teach our guys is going to be very valuable. And so I'm excited to have him on board. The other person that I'm excited about is Ryan Kerrigan.
Yes, sir.
And you talked about what happened last year. What if the difference between 2020 and 2021 wasn't necessarily Sam Mills? It was having the elder statesman in the locker room on the sidelines helping those alphas who are getting frustrated that they're not getting plays. Would we have had the 2 Alabama D tackles yelling at each other if Ryan was there?
Right.
To kind of be the guy. And now he is there. And they've said they like him. They love him as their assistant coach, kind of working with them because they listen to him.
Yep.
I don't know how he is from a teaching standpoint, but he is showing some value already being in that locker room and on that field right with these guys. So I think this is only positive. The timing's weird, but I think this is only moving in the right direction.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And another name that we've talked about before in this offseason who's come on back-to-back days, Warren Sapp.
Yep.
I mean,
volunteering.
Right.
He ain't getting paid to be there.
Come on now. That's only positive. And one of the things that I really liked is that one of the things that he said is that the D linemen are receptive to what he has to say. You know what I mean? They want to hear what he has to say. I talked about, the having the mentality of a pack of wolves. all of them pouncing on. The lone wolf dies, but the pack of wolves eat. And that's something we talk about mentality. But look, going back to Jeff, I'm gonna mess up your name. Ganina? Ganina. Yeah. Going back to him, look, there's one thing that I think is very big, and look, Mills again was a solid coach, but there's one thing that Jeff Zunino brings to the table, and it's what Aaron Donald did, pointed to that ring. He's been to the top, he's been to a Super Bowl, he's won a Super Bowl, he's been a part of that. So when you're a part of that, there's that championship mentality on top of the fact, like you said, he's played 17 years. It's not easy to stick around this league when the average years is what, 3 to 4, 3 to 5 if you're lucky without injuries, and especially at that position where it's, the revolving door comes in and out if you're not really that good. Having him stay in for that period of time, he could teach these guys, like, look, even when you're not the number one pick with the number one talent, I could still teach you the crafts, the moves that will keep you viable, keep you valuable to a team. And that is those ins and outs that I really love. Yeah. I'm really excited to see that. Nathan says, sometimes I think you have to look for guys that can speak the language of the young guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes
I think he's right.
Yeah. Sometimes the old players can't be coaches, in my opinion. Huh? That's interesting.
Yeah, and I don't really know much about Sam Mills III, to be honest with you. I don't know his career, how I'm not as familiar. So yeah, I think there's some positives here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So this is interesting. Like we said, Zam Ganoni. I'm gonna get it right towards this season. As the season goes, he's here. We're glad to have him. And look, back to Sam Mills. Rivera said, listen, it is nothing against him. He's known him for a long time, but there was just a difference in philosophy. Yeah. And see, when I like that because you recognize a problem and you fix the problem. You're not afraid to fix it. And like you and I said, both of us, we were both like, are you serious? We're going into our first preseason game and you're firing people? Like what? But you need to let everybody know that we're on the train going this way. If you're not on it, the next stop is your stop. You know what I mean? We got to move on. So, I'm excited about that. Anything else you got on our guy?
We got to work on that pronunciations, man.
Yeah.
It's Ganina.
Ganina. We're going to get there. We're going to get there for sure. Oh, shout out to my babe. Hey, guys, all the way from West Virginia. Nobody showed my parents the site. They're both sleeping early. Yeah. They shout out to Catherine. She is out with her parents in West Virginia, helping them. I know they were out all day on they're part of the garage sale, like flea market, bunch of stuff. Okay. They're moving out. She's been asking me for weeks, do you want this? Do you not want this? And shirts and clothes. And I've been just like, yeah, just take it. Just take it. But like I said before, shout out to my baby.
Yeah, it looks good, Kat.
It looks nice.
You picked out a good one.
I told a story about why you got it. But anyways, look, I'm glad you guys are happy with your new defensive coordinator. Yes. Hey,
appreciate that, Delilah. Appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. Definitely be a lot happier when we see the progress on defense. But, hey, look, it's getting to that time. Saturday's right around the corner. So we're about to move on to some good stuff.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders. There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, with it being so close to the season, you've seen some of the things we did a couple weeks back. We had our mock 53-man roster. One of the things that is going on and helping us with that, they did their first depth chart, unofficial depth chart, but they still put it out there, and it's good, Will, because it gives us an opportunity to, okay, now it's on paper. We can write it down where we think this is where they're doing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is unofficial, but this is the first look at it. So I'm going to kind of slowly scroll down here. Will, go ahead. Let me know, like, any surprises that you have, or we'll just stick with the offense for now.
Yeah, start offense. Wide receiver.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked. Truthfully, I'm shocked that the veteran they brought in here, Alec Erickson, is behind Dax Mill. I just did not. I honestly think Dax Mill was just going to be like the odd man out And they said he's doing everything that Erickson can do.
Right.
He's catching punts. He's making some plays in the slot a little bit here, and he's impressing them, which is great. Second year guy. So that was the one that I was like, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
What about you?
Hey, look, and basically to your point, yeah, Dax, look, he's doing everything the Ericksons can do, and they gave him a nickname, okay? Dax Milne is called Mr. Steal Your Girl, all right? As we see what he did to his ex-best friend at a BYU. But, yeah, that does surprise me, and maybe it's that he has a year in the system that we're running now. I know Alex Harrison is brought over from Carolina and that, the old Rivera stuff. But I honestly think Malign been with us before, and his special teams prowess could help him, because isn't that what they brought in Erickson for?
He did. Yeah. He's made some plays. He's got some touchdowns in Cincy, but it was the fact that he can field punts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that, to your point on that. But to me, and I talked to you about this off camera, the tight end groom. I mean, we know about Logan Thomas being out. We don't know if he's going to be there week 1. Bates recently was hurt. So that's, kind of has us worried. So I understand we need to get more. Cole Turner, we've seen what he's done. He's had a little bit of a hamstring, but, he should be good. But then you got Sammis Reyes, Curtis Hodges, Armani Rogers, just picked up a guy who we'll talk about, Eli Wolf, and Alex Armah. Will, I am thoroughly surprised that we have this many tight ends on this. Like,
yes,
like I get it. I get Logan and Bates. They're going to stay. Turner most likely going to stay. And after that, it's weird, but it's like, I mean, you can have a line with that: Reyes, Hodges, Monty, Wolf, and Alex. I mean, that's 5 dudes right there. So how do we whittle that down? And are you surprised by that?
The sheer numbers is what surprises me. I'm surprised they also put Alex Armah as a fullback, so I'm kind of surprised that they put him there at tight end. But I guess they figured, in the modern NFL, that's kind of doing the same kind of things. Yeah, I mean, I think these next 3 games, it's going to be, how are you going to separate yourself? It's kind of what I'm kind of seeing from these tight ends, because they all have a lot of potential right there. What you see there behind Logan Thomas and essentially John Bates is all potential. Yeah. Turner, Reyes, Hodges, Rogers, all athletes.
Yeah.
Who can become a tight end, a all-around tight end,
Yeah. And look, like I said, those first 3 we've seen, but it is going to be who shows up. And Curtis Hodges is somebody that we've mentioned him out of Arizona State, pretty far down on this depth chart, but he has been shining. He's been making plays. I think that first week, that Saturday, caught 2 TD passes that weekend. 6'8", I believe, like 260. Just a big body deep down there, somebody that we can need. And, you talked to me beforehand, and right now it looks like he's behind Reyes, but Reyes, he ain't been really making any strides.
You don't hear much about him at all. I don't want to take too much away from our tight end segment coming up here, but no, Reyes in year 2 is not making the plays I thought we would hear from him. I really thought he was going to step up, but that doesn't seem to be happening just yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. But look, we're going to move down to the defense and take a look at, is there anything else on the offense that you see?
No, that was kind of it. Yeah.
That's kind of where I stuck. I think everything else is pretty similar. Kelvin Harmon, though, I think we'll see how that plays out. Everything else on the, real quick at running back, Gibson, McKissick, Robinson, Jonathan Williams, then Jared Patterson.
That's Ab said that to it. I missed that.
Huh.
So I'm surprised, but not surprised. Like, I know they liked Jonathan Williams a lot last year. They had him on the practice squad. They moved him up. But to officially put him behind him that's interesting, because it's so hard to know where we're at in the running backs department during training camp, because you're not bringing these guys to the ground. So it's really hard for outsiders like us to see who's making ground.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Nicholas, yes, they are all better than Adam Shaheen. Although I thought he was going to be a good player coming out. I thought the Bears made a good selection.
Yeah, definitely better. You know who else is better? We're better than your team, Nick. We're going to see Chicago,
Did
baby.
you hear
Let's
what
go.
Justin Fields says? What's the difference with the NFL? He said, he goes, I'm throwing to receivers that wouldn't make it at Ohio State. That's going to go over real well. Good luck here, buddy.
Well, there you go, Justin.
And he's probably not wrong.
Well, right. Because they don't have any receivers right now. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, so, all right, going down to the defense side, what sticks out at you? First and foremost, I know it sticks out at me, and I understand this guy's a rookie.
Yes,
right there. My guy, Jacob Panisic, the fact that he is so far down this list really frustrates me. I thought, maybe he'd be a little better. Casey Toohill up here, I thought maybe he could switch with him, maybe jump up at least to the third string. I'm not worried about it because he's still on the depth chart, which means he's still on the team. I'm excited to see because, like you said, Will, he has been making plays or made one play one day. And look, that's all I want to see out of Michigan State. Shout out to you, baby. Go green, go white. I want to see him play because I've seen what he's done in college. I've seen what he's done. I know the pedigree. So I'm just hoping that it could translate. But I fear he might be very, very far down on the depth chart. So I'm just hoping he could stick around. But what surprises you on this list?
Yeah. Panisic is buried. So he's going to be the type of guy where you're going to have to watch the fourth quarter on Saturday to see if he is, making plays and flashing on here, which it's going to take game play to show up for him. Yeah. So the guy that surprised me is the backup defensive tackle behind Jonathan Allen, David Bada.
Yeah.
So for the last 2 years, he has been on our practice squad as a free player. He's a part of the NFL. I almost going to say NFL Europe, but essentially you're allowed to have one player if they're from Europe and he's from Germany on your roster. He's exempt. He doesn't count against your 53 or even your practice squad. And you can just basically develop it. It's about the NFL trying to spread the game, across the globe. So he's in his third training camp, and he's in front of the free agent we brought in, F.A. Obata, who made plays in Buffalo and is from Carolina. He's in front of a defensive tackle, Daniel Wise, who we brought back last year. Right. So like Daniel Wise got playing time snaps last season. This guy was never cracked the 53 on game day. So for him to have leapfrogged him on this early depth chart, that stood out to me.
Yeah, that's definitely something it's very interesting. And another one on here, just for the simple fact that I know he's played some time, but he hasn't, we all know the name Troy Apke, and he's buried down in third. Corn Elder, I've heard that he's really been showing out as of recently in that in the secondary room. And I'm very excited to see that because, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, one of the first moves we made in off season was to sign Troy Apke. And the running joke on this show is that this Troy Apke, the fastest, best white corner, and maybe the only white corner in the league now.
I think so.
There's not many of them, if any. So the fact that Corn Elder, outside of the name, is just balling out, has really been showing up. Really, it shocks me because the one thing I know Apke has is the fact that he's played, he knows the systems, he's been around. So if he's falling down the depth chart, what are you doing, Apke? Come on, man. Or like my brother likes to call him Reed Dowdy number 2.
Reed Dowdy Jr.
You're right.
Yeah, that caught me too. And even the guy behind Christian Holmes, who's on the same level as Apke, is Channing Stribling. I've heard that he's made some plays. So those are some guys that are going to be interesting to kind of see on in preseason. Are they able to play and make some plays? Because somehow Troy Apke keeps sneaking by every single year. He gets back on the roster somehow, and he's on the active 53 all the time. So can we somehow get more talent, please?
Please. What does he have? Does Troy Apke know stuff? Is he in cahoots with Snyder? How is he staying here? Because I don't know what's happening. He's always the one that's on the end of the deep ball that the defense that the offense is throwing. There goes Apke, letting him go by.
Right.
For the most part, everything else is pretty straight. Yeah, obviously Tress Way, Joey Sly, and Cameron Cheeseman. But we talked about the wide receiver room and the punt return and all that stuff. Alex Erickson is still technically up there as first string on kick and punt returner. Does that surprise you with how he is on the depth chart behind Dax Milne?
Who else is going to do it right now? The other guy who returned kicks was Jarrett Patterson, and he's listed as the 5th running back.
Right.
So, it's I think we got – I mean, if I'm seeing Jarrett Patterson and Alec Erickson back there, I'm hoping they kick it into the stands.
Oh, yeah.
Just let me start the 25 and let's move on. Don't let this ball get in their hands.
Hey, look, and as we said this earlier this offseason, they're already trying to get rid of the daggone kickoff. So,
right,
you're limiting the spots that you can play. Well, we got to say what's up to the people that are here watching.
Yeah,
Anthony saying, "What's up?" Ben says, "Just a personal opinion. Guys like Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, along with some solid running game of OSU, may just feel a better quarterback than he actually is. He's gonna be a bust." You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Truth.
Ben has said it. Ben Cordet has said it with his whole chest. Look, Anthony said Ben said with his whole chest. Yeah, look. Yeah.
I think it's the whole problem with Ohio State quarterbacks. They keep flaming out, and it's the whole thing. Is there too much talent around them to really have them evaluate?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Anthony, this is true. The Cheeseman, they did lock him up in Golden Girls. I remember that episode I was watching the other day. Yes, thank you for that that moment. Well, look, on this depth chart, I'm going to go right into the next part because it has something to do with it. New players that we brought in. And let me take down this right quick. We brought in Nathan Gary, linebacker, been in the league for a couple years. Mm-hmm. Stephen Parker at safety. That to expand that tight end room. Eli Wolf at tight end, and Devontae Bowsby at corner. If you look at the depth chart, they're at all towards the end, so obviously they haven't had an opportunity to, get going. But out of all the things that we needed, linebacker is the only thing that we've talked about all off season, and we've made that. I mean, tight end, we have plenty of tight ends. Corner, we have plenty of corners. What do you think about these moves, and are they going to help, or is it just you here today, gone tomorrow?
I think majority of these are just adding bodies. Yeah. Eli Wolf came in because Bates was sidelines. Hodges has been dealing with something, and Cole Turner has been dealing with the hammy. Yeah. So it was basically, we need people. We need a body out here if we're going to be running 11s. Nathan Gary is the one name that has the most time in the league. Actually, all of them, besides, I don't know much about the corner, but all of them have been in the league. So there's a little bit of experience there. But Nathan Gary played with the Eagles for a couple seasons, and he's known as a guy who can run, which kind of fits what they're looking for. But there's some analytics on him that aren't very good. So the dude may be able to run, but I don't know if he's running to the right spots and covering people properly. So I don't think it's really anything to get excited about. But I think of everybody, he may be the one person that has a chance of making the squad.
Huh. Very interesting.
But that's not the linebacker we're hoping to.
No, right. No. This is not the one we've been waiting for all off season to come in. Look, to your point, drafted in 2017 by Philly, he has 22 starts by his name, which to some people is like, oh, well, he's got in there. But just because you played doesn't mean that you've dominated. We can look at Troy Apke and all his starts that he's had, and what does that mean towards the team? To your point, Stephen Parker, another guy that's played 34. He's played in about just over 30 games, and has just over 34 tackles. So he gets in, but what is he really doing? He's one of these that's been around New York, Dallas, Miami, Jags. Yeah. You know what I mean? So as we see, like to your point, is just a body that we're bringing in. Yeah. I don't think he's going to move up or down the list, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit. Eli Wolf, I mentioned him earlier. A body, or could he, with these injuries, move up a little bit?
You never know. Yeah, I mean, here's the time to show it up. So, I don't know much about him. I kind of feel like we are set at tight end, but you never know.
Yeah, and as far as the other guy, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, I know nothing.
Got nothing.
Devontae Bowsby.
Oh, I forgot to tell you on the depth chart, my boy from Shepherd University
Oh, Lord.
needs to get healthy because he needs to get on the field.
Who is this? Who's your boy from
I
Shepherd?
think it's DeJohn Neal. Is that his name?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. He's behind Apke right now because he's been
Oh,
hurt.
God.
I'm like, what are you doing?
4th.
We need some D2 love there.
Shout out to Shepherd.
Are we shouting out Shepherd?
Shout out to him. I mean, hey, many a crazy nights there. Shout out to Kyle. Said, as the night draws and the moonlight shines.
Oh, my gosh.
The Falcons are illuminated. That's as far as that comment goes. All right.
Yeah,
So, look, these are a couple moves that were made. Again, I don't really think many of them are going to have an impact on the team outside of, like what you said, bodies. So we're not going to really spend that much time on this. So we're going to go ahead right now, and we're gonna move on.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders. There it is.
Yeah, buddy. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're so glad you guys are with us on Washington Football Weekly. We want you to stay with us because we're going to preview the Panthers game. We got a special guest coming and to talk about the Panthers and his favorite player, Mr. Cam Newton. I know that's not true. So but before we do, really quickly, we want to dive into just a couple real positions and throw you a couple of nuggets about them. We've been hinting towards them for the most of the day. Will, I'm going to come to you first, talking about the tight end group. We've seen how many tight ends we have, and once everybody gets healthy, we know a lot of those guys at the back end aren't going to be there. Talk to me about the tight end group. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, so this seems to be the group that I think that has us most excited going, in this offseason and kind of seeing what we got. We were very surprised this offseason how we never went after like a big receiver. We do have Cam Sims. We all thought they were going to target the Drake London out of Southern Cal because he'd be that big body to go with Terry and Curtis. And so we said, well, where are we going to do in the red zone? Where are we going to have some size? And we've kind of gone that route with our tight ends. And what makes this training camp kind of excited is we've got a bunch of athletes. We've got Cole Turner. You've got Logan Thomas. Let's not forget him. And when he gets healthy, he can do it all. He's a really good tight end. But you got Cole Turner behind him, who I think is going to make a pretty big impact early on this season. You've got Armani Rogers, who's a converted quarterback, great athlete, and they're saying he's really showing out. You mentioned it, Curtis Hodges, 6'8" athlete. That's just a target. San Diego, the LA Chargers have a guy, Donald Parham, who was on our practice squad in 2019. He was 6'8". There's a weapon there in the red zone that you can't sometimes guard height. And so there's a lot of athletes there that are kind of interesting. Samus Reyes in year 2 that we're trying to see who can make this roster and do something, because as we know, our quarterback loves tight ends.
Yep.
And we were all excited this offseason, maybe we could go after and go get Zach Ertz and bring his comfort, in. But maybe they're finding little ways. I really think Cole Turner is going to be, that security blanket. I think he's going to like Logan Thomas. I think he will like John Bates, as that little check down safety point. But so it's an interesting position because we really got a bunch of nobodies that are just athletic, and we're trying to see who is going to show up here in the preseason to make the 53.
Yeah. And that's something I'm very eager to see because of the fact that we know what the wide receiver room looks like. And like you said, we know Carson, we need to give him as much help as possible. And he had Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz. And we know what he did to our defense with those two tight ends, what he did to the league when he was at the top of his game. That's what he loves to do, go right to his tight ends or his backs. To have those big guys going down the field and having the hands, that's something that is he's all about. It seems to make him more comfortable. So, like you said, we have the Logan Thomas. We have these guys that can perform, but it's who's going to take that next step. Who's going to show up, and especially right now, you never want to see injuries or anything, but the fact that Logan Thomas is out, the fact that Bates is struggling, the fact that Cole Turner has hamstrings, if we look at it, if tomorrow's game day and everybody's healthy, obviously those three are starting. Those are our top three guys.
Yeah.
So then it looks at the Armani Rogers, the Curtis Hodges, the Eli Wolf, whoever. It looks at those other guys and saying, okay, you might have the specs, Sammis Reyes, you might have the height, the size, the ability, this and that, but you need to have the full package, or you're not going to play. You're not going to play, and to be honest with you, you're going to be buried on the depth chart, and hope and pray that you might get on special teams or something like that, and just get in where you fit in. But to be honest, most of these guys, at least to the tail end of this list, will not be here come season first week of the season. So
right. Well, you just mentioned special teams, which very much surprised me. So Sammis Reyes has not been having a very good training camp.
No.
And the thing we've heard from him is has really bad hands. No. And I really thought when we signed him, it was because of that workout where he showed out and showed how fast he was and how athletic it was. And then they've said he's a better blocker than receiver.
Yeah.
That just really surprised me. But they also said that could be his path to making the roster, because if Hodges and Rogers and even Cole Turner are learning how to block, Cole Turner said he basically was a wide receiver in college.
Yep.
He's never had to line up and block. Then that may be a spot for Reyes, because we need someone on special teams, on punt protection, on kick protection, extra point protection to make blocks. We can't be letting those guys get trucked and by corners and DBs and that type of stuff. So that could be a spot for him. I was just really surprised. I thought in year 2 we would see this meteoric rise where here we go. We've got the next Antonio Gates that we brought in from basketball, and it might not be happening.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it begs the question: is the Sammis Reyes experiment over in Washington?
Good question.
Because look, we've seen the direction that we're going in as far as what we're drafting. We saw that we just picked up a tight end. You know what I mean? We're not going to keep you off this, hope that you're going to do it. Hope that you're going to get it together. But like you said, it's the little things that you are able to do that can contribute to the team that might give you a couple more days on the roster. So we'll see what he does. But that being a position that I'm kind of surprised we have as many guys as we have. Then we go to the opposite side, the position that we absolutely need more guys, which we seem to be neglecting. Even though we did get Nathan Gary, it's still we've missed Barr, we missed all these different guys, and we signed the Mayos. We signed some of the guys that maybe are okay, this is going to be your third or fourth string guy. This is not your starter. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what? But I guess my question to you, Will, is should I be surprised? Is the trend of the league going away from linebackers, or what do you think?
That's a good question, Sean. Yeah. So all off season, we've been shocked as to what we have not done and to improve this linebacking core. And we're going to go into the regular season with 2 starting linebackers, Jamin Davis and Cole Holcomb. And that's really surprising a lot of folks. But is it possible that the Commanders are just following the league trends?
Mm-hmm.
And we're more concerned now. Obviously, I think the bigger thing we have to recognize is if either one of those 2 get hurt, we're in a whole mess of trouble.
Yeah.
But is linebacker today the same as it used to be? And the answer to that is no. So I have to give Al Galdi and his podcast a lot of credit, because that's where I heard a lot of this information. And he was researching on Pro Football Focus, who did this whole research on where is defense trending. So last year, I guess they were the football team last year, we had 65 total plays on defense when we had 3 linebackers on the field, when we ran a traditional 4-3. All right. 65 total plays, all 17 games. Jonathan Allen used to play 50 to 60 snaps a game.
Right.
And we ran 65 snaps the entire season. So last year, we already were not playing a traditional 4-3. So I think it may be something where the reporters of the team and the fans, we may be the ones kind of freaking out a little bit about this, but they kind of have an idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
And this is the way the NFL is going. Pro Football Focus said that 75% of defensive plays were the nickel coverage.
Ooh.
And the Buffalo Bills ran it 92% of the time.
Yeah.
And the Buffalo Bills had the defense we probably want to emulate.
Right.
And they've got linebackers that can run. That Edmonds guy at linebacker. The other one, Milano, is the other linebacker who we really wanted last offseason.
Yeah.
So it seems like we're kind of trying to emulate that. So obviously, if injuries don't happen, it almost seems like we're just doing where the NFL is going towards. And maybe it may not be as big a deal as we're making it.
And it's interesting because that would explain why we have been busy getting more corner safety, more secondary help. Because like you said, that's where the league is going. I mean, look, in the NFL, to your point on those stats, the NFL did that study. Teams had 5 DBs 61.4% of the time. In the nickel, 61% of the time. Look, you and I, we're from the old school. We're from that front 7. Your 4 D linemen, your 3 or 4 backers coming up and just dominating, wreaking havoc. The Bears, the Ravens, all these teams that really didn't necessarily. Maybe the Ravens had Ed Reed, but they didn't necessarily have the best backfield. Now you're looking at it, like you said, with Buffalo being by far that defense that we all want to emulate. Having everybody in the back 7 is where where the pride is. So it's very interesting because it's that you see the evolution of the league, to your point. Like, you see how things are changing, and maybe we're just getting on board with that change.
Right.
So
I'm going to say this. It's so good that Ash isn't on right now to hear me say this, but this is where a guy like Dexter Coakley would be like thriving. Not that he wasn't a good linebacker in his day, but there became a point where some of these guys were too small, and you wanted these big Raven Caldwell 250, 260-pound linebackers, and that's not today's NFL. Deion Jones was like 220, 230. Right. I know he's hurt, and we are basically having the Atlanta Falcon takeover on our Facebook page.
You see that?
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't giving them those comments. I saw all that.
But Deion Jones came in the league, and he was able to run, and he made an instant impact. So it's an interesting trend, and it goes to one of our players and kind of what we're doing. Jamin Davis. They went back to his combine numbers. He ran a 4.3 40. Deshaun Jackson ran a 4.3 40. Oh, yeah. Now, Jamin Davis is really, really athletic, and he's fast. They also, I thought about when they were in Carolina, they drafted Shaq Thompson out of Washington. Shaq was a safety that they were converting to linebacker. Maybe they saw something here in Jamin. This is me hoping, glass half full, that they saw in Shaq Thompson. Like, year 1, he may not be ready, but he has the traits, the skills, the athleticism, the instincts that we see to when the light bulb comes on, he's going to be great. And Shaq Thompson's still in the league right now. Right. He just signed an extension with Carolina. So that I'm hoping that's the case, because we need Jamin Davis to make a play and be a big time player for us. But maybe that's kind of why, and you're not going to know it until he plays. So you got to get him on the field. I fault them last year for making him a middle linebacker. I think they just got him thinking too much.
Yep.
And he's starting to say he's reading and he's reacting quicker.
Yes.
And that's what we need, because if you got a Holcomb and Davis running sideline to sideline, let's go.
Right. Absolutely. And one of the things that even he's been saying is that his comfort level is so much. It's leaps and bounds from what it was a year ago, when it, like you said, when it was kind of everything's coming at you all at once. We want to get back to him just playing ball. Like you said, read and react. We need to get back to him just going out there and doing it, and just doing what he, doing as he did in college. What's going on, Andrew? North Sports Dynasty.
Are the Bucks? Is his Bucks on right now? But Tom's not playing.
Oh no, Tom's definitely not playing.
He's out for a little bit.
It's the
who's Ravens, playing again tonight?
The Ravens and the Titans. And ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, let us know the scores of that one. The Ravens and Titans are playing, and the Patriots and the Giants. I know it's 7-3 at the beginning of this show. Patriots over Giants, and 7-0 Ravens over Titans.
I'm hearing that Tyrod might be pushing Daniel Jones a little bit, which I love Tyrod, but
yeah. No, I love him in the league. I was never a Virginia Tech guy. But I love him in the league. All right, I'll say that.
You don't like getting your hopes up in September and October, and then getting dashed because your team actually sucks when they play somebody.
Golly.
That's the life of a Hokie football fan.
Yeah, oh, man. I'll tell you one thing though. Walking into that stadium on a Saturday night with that music playing.
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
Is something to give you goosebumps?
Oh yeah,
I bet
nothing
it
like
does.
it, man. Nothing like it. But look, ladies and gentlemen, look, this is linebacker group is something that we've all been talking about all off season. And look, a lot of this is speculation, things that we've heard, things that people have been reporting on. So we're gonna try to follow this. Hopefully, what this new trend is where we're leaning towards, and it would kind of help answer the question. Is us getting more defensive backs and safeties and everything like that, is that part of a plan, to kind of go along with the trend of the league? We're following how things are going. So, hey, hopefully that'll play out that way. Hopefully that will play out that way. But ladies and gentlemen, like our guy has said, football is back, ladies and gentlemen. And there's games on tonight. We're going to transition. And when we come back, we will have our special guest on the show to talk about the team that they're going to take their first L on Saturday to this team right here, baby. We'll be right back.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders. There it is.
Yeah, buddy, we are live with Mark Page, a Carolina Panther fan. I love it. Said keep pounding. Oh, I like that. I like that. What's going on, Mark? How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? Panther Nation.
Oh, okay.
You're going to be our first victim this year.
Oh,
fine. I'll give it to you in preseason.
Come on.
Team. I don't wear this in public, by the way. Let me show you this right here. I don't wear this in public.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a Cam Newton blunder right there.
Yes. So, okay. So I'm going to give you your first question to go with that. You said you don't wear that in public. I actually asked my friend that's a Bengals fan. Let me see. He's got a Baker Mayfield jersey.
The fresh.
You're setting up everything up for these questions.
You're right.
Look, we've already offered a trade to the Redskins. We're going to give you guys Matt Rule, two for one. And Sam Darnold, we want Coach Ron back, please.
Yeah. No.
Come on, guys.
No.
Ron.
Yeah.
His name.
Hold up. Hey, you got to take Dan Snyder too.
Yeah. There you go. So let me ask you about that.
My wife is from Cleveland, by the way. I'm going to show you this right here.
Ooh.
Found this at it.
Oh.
Browns going to win this, going to playoffs? No.
So let me ask you about that Super Bowl hat. All right. And this is what I asked my friend that's a Bengals fan last year. If you're a team that doesn't win a lot and you make it to the championship game and lose, do you buy the gear? Do you wear the gear? Do you celebrate that season, or are you ashamed because you lost in the championship?
No, I blame the whole thing on Cam Newton. I really do. And I think he just – the pressure on him, he just collapsed during that game. And I'm a Panthers fan way before Cam Newton got there.
Yeah,
I mean, I was there in Clemson the first year that the Panthers played football, watching the 49ers. Back in the early 90s.
Okay.
By the way, Friday night, you know what Friday night is, don't you? It's old Clemson versus new Clemson. You got my boy right here. Well, Deshaun Watson's going to be playing.
Okay.
I heard he's going to be playing against Trevor Lawrence.
Really? I didn't know that. I did not put those pieces together.
Well, they're both Clemson quarterbacks, of course.
Yeah.
And my wife is from Cleveland, so this is what if Trevor's playing, this is what he's going to be seeing a lot of in the backfield right here.
Ooh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I wish we had him, man.
Right.
That's one bad day right there.
Right.
And this is what you guys are going to see a lot of right here. I'm going to show you what you're going to be seeing a lot of.
Come on. Do you have? What did you prepare for? Brian Burns.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that authentic?
That's Brian Burns, baby. He's one. He's not a power running back. I keep going backwards here. Here we go. I can't get this. There we go. I'm going backwards. Anyway, and then you gonna have to stop this guy.
Ooh. Is he gonna play? Is he gonna play Saturday?
I don't know. That's what I was going to ask you guys. So, I heard the starters are going to play some tomorrow night. Is that right?
Our starters are playing
Saturday
15 to 20 snaps.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure what yours are, but yeah. Well, let me actually introduce you. So I know you're meeting Sean for the first time. Mark is a colleague of mine. All right. And he's about to have a very busy fourth quarter. So this is kind of our downtime. But Mark, this is Sean. Sean and I go way back to high school. We do this every week. We talk Commanders and one of the things we wanted to bring on in this year, and you're the first guest to do this, is we wanted to preview the upcoming opponent. And give them a chance to say, talk a little bit about not just who they are, but what their team is and what they're looking for. So just kind of,
I'm going to tell you what we're looking for is quarterback play, and we want to see get the time for the quarterback. We've got our first pick this past time was our offensive lineman from NC State. Iquanu, I can't pronounce his name, but he's a big boy. Mm-hmm. He's going to be awesome. So we are improving on both sides of the ball this year, in my opinion. I mean, Brian Burns is he's one of the fastest defensive ends in the NFL. You'll see his spin move. I hope you get to see it. Because it's incredible, man. I'm telling you. I watch him he's not a big power rusher, but it's fast.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we got Derek Brown is a beast in the middle. He's the guy from Auburn.
He's been panning out. He's been doing good.
He is fantastic. And then you got Shaq Thompson, one of the best linebackers in the league, in my opinion. Right. And then you got Jeremy Chan. Chan is an incredible athlete.
I forgot about him.
And then J.C. Horn is back healthy. So so what I'm worried about is they use this guy too daggum much. Yeah. Don't send him between the daggum tackles. They need it, but our fullback is not I forgot his name. It's Gianni, whatever his name. I forgot the guy's name. Giovanni, and Giovanni Ricci. I don't know much about him, but they're going to be using. If they use this guy through the tackles, he won't last more than 6 games, 4 games. Yeah. And he's so good if you give him some space and do a play action pass that guy, but send him on the side and he's gone. Yeah. He has room to run, but if you put him in between the tackles where he's got to squeeze in a spot, I mean, he can do it, but he gets hurt. And so they need to use him wisely because he's the key to us having a successful season this year. And in my opinion, if we don't win 9 games, Rule is toast. We've had 2 5-win seasons right in a row, and Rule is gone. We've got to win 9 games or he is gone. I guarantee
he's out of there.
Is that possible?
Trade him to the Redskins.
Is that possible? Trade him to the Redskins. Is winning 9 games possible?
I have seen that.
Okay.
That we are on the cusp of being a playoff team, but a possible wild card if we have some luck, and everybody stays healthy.
There it is. But look, to that point, everybody staying healthy. Look, so going back to the preseason, we've talked about. We played, Darius Geis a couple years back, and he got hurt. We all remember for Washington when Clinton Portis ran a 70-yard run in preseason and then broke collarbone. Right.
Miami. Oh, yeah.
So talk to me about McCaffrey, because we know if he's healthy, he's one of the best in the league by far, if not the best.
Without a doubt. That's why they've got to use him wisely and not send him up the middle over and over again.
Right.
I was watching that when he was healthy, like, God, they're going to lose this guy. He's going to get hurt. And sure enough, it happened. And we can't win without him. He's such a huge part of our offense, and but I'm telling you, Baker is we got the best Baker coming in. You know why? He's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. Yeah, he wants to show the Browns they screwed up. True. So he's going, and he is going to be. He is. I saw an article I sent to Will of something about how they may start both quarterbacks that first game. Nobody's going to want Sam Darnold. It was an $18 million contract.
Right.
We're going to give him you guys for free, and.
Look, you can, as long as you take Dan, we're good, man.
Dan Snyder's involved.
I know who Dan Snyder is. Oh yeah, Dan Snyder's proof you cannot buy a good football team. And
thank you.
Yeah.
And Jerry Jones.
That guy.
The NFC East has 2 of my most hated. The Cowboys, I hate the Eagles with a friggin' passion.
Yes.
And I don't like the Giants either. But the Patriots are my most hated team. But Redskins, I've liked the Redskins. My ex-wife is from D.C. and I've watched Redskins with her many times.
Right.
And remember this guy named Ernest Biner?
Oh yeah.
Where did he go to college? East Carolina University, baby.
Oh. Really? Oh my goodness. The Pirates. Good.
Pirates. Ernest Biner, 1983.
I did not know that.
That's back when I was a freshman.
Yeah. And then he played at Cleveland too, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You gotta be careful saying.
I know.
There's a classic right here. I've still got this in the closet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kuechly jersey here.
Speaking
Anyway,
of him, didn't he come visit us? I think he was kind of working out with our linebackers early in OTAs.
Yeah, we thought he was going to come on as a coach.
Yeah.
What's he doing over there?
I don't know, but come back.
Why is it? You know why? All right, so talk to me about the quarterbacks here. You've got your Baker jersey, so you're a Baker fan. What I want to know is two things. What happened last year when Sam Darnold started so hot?
I don't think he played injured last year, and I don't know if the line gave him the time he needed, but we saw the best Baker 2 years ago, and Baker is in my opinion, a much higher caliber quarterback than Sam Darnold. And I think Baker will win the starting job without question after 3 weeks.
So the issues in Cleveland have been accuracy and decision making. What is going to change in Carolina that's going to make him show his potential?
Because he's coming in with that chip. Because he's like, I know I'm a better quarterback than what I showed last year.
Okay.
And the guy has fought adversity his whole life, and he's walked on in college, and he's going to be able to. He wants to show Cleveland that you screwed up letting me go. That's why we're getting the best version of him, in my opinion. Yeah. Right. I think because I watched him go into playoffs 2 years ago, and I mean this guy is a good quarterback. When he's on, he's on. Yeah. And Darnold, I knew was going to be a bust the whole daggum time, and anyway.
All right, let's take his first official pass was a pick six. Darnold.
Yeah, it was. Well, he was going to the Jets. Like, gosh, does anyone make it with the Jets? Yeah. All right, so here's the reason why
Darnold sucks. No, he's just
he wasn't that great coming out of college. I don't know why he was so high, but go ahead, Will.
All right, so about your offense and how is Baker going to be better, or is if Darnold outplays him, which I don't think it's going to happen. You're going to bring him in. All right, so you've got when healthy, McCaffrey we know is a huge weapon.
Yes.
Okay. On the other side of him, you've got probably your second best offensive player, DJ Moore, a fantastic wide receiver out of Wide Receiver U, Maryland, University of Maryland.
No,
okay,
come on.
No, but now here's my problem here. Here's my problem with do you have the weapons for Baker? Because you've got your next starting wide receiver publicly said he didn't want to trade for the guy.
Robbie Anderson.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what do you have behind there? So that's what I'm saying.
I don't know the story behind that, but I really think that Baker's going to win him over. That's what I think is going to happen. Baker's going to win the conference, these guys, and he's going to get this immaturity crap behind him. The reason the Browns wanted him out was this: how they felt he was an immature leader, and so he knows all that crap's happened. So I mean, it's in his head now. I got to put my best foot forward and quit making these damn commercials and go play.
Thank you.
What? Right.
Do you really? No, that was my wife. Excuse me.
Gotcha. And tell me a little bit more about DJ Moore. I want to hear more about this guy. Why don't you have a DJ Moore jersey?
They draft Chubb. The Browns draft Chubb from Georgia. I was so excited about that.
Yeah.
I was so excited about that I go and buy this jersey right here.
That's a terrible number.
That was his first number, and then he changed his freaking number.
Yeah.
Did you really think that he was going to wear 31?
And here I got a jersey, and I get laughed at when I go in public with it.
You should be.
That's the
you
guy.
Got a Browns jersey. It says Chubb.
To run through the tackles, and we have McCaffrey back. But you couldn't stop us, man. It'd be freaking awesome.
All right. So you know the Panthers really well. Sean and I have talked about this year.
Listen to you guys. You guys follow it in way more detail than I do.
Well, we do. We kind of live and breathe this. But so our theory with Washington this year is that they're going to try and be a little bit more conservative and with their offense, and to the point where we're thinking they may emulate a little bit of the Carolina Panthers of Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams.
Yeah.
Because they've got obviously Antonio Gibson, but we also drafted Brian Robinson out of Alabama, who is going to be, like you talked about, that thumper between the tackles guys. Talk to me about how, is it hard for running backs to get into rhythm when you've got 2 or 3 people who can carry the rock?
I swear, it's all depending on how good that offensive line is. If you got an offensive line that can create holes, your running backs are going to do well. Yeah. If your offensive line sucks, they're not going to do well. They don't have the blocking. You've got to have a good line, and that's a huge piece that the Panthers added this year with Kwanu, whoever his name is, from NC State. Yeah. Like I wanted them to take the big boy from Alabama, but hey, it's fine. Yeah, this is the second. This is right. They could have had O'Neill's. That's O'Neill's. That's his name. Yeah,
Evan O'Neill. Yeah.
But I really think looking at our starting lineup, I think we're. I've read some articles that how improved we are. We just got to show it on the field.
Yeah.
And but I really think I'm worried about this running back situation because I don't know about the fullback situation. I don't see him the Giovanni Ricci out there. I don't see him very often, and I just hope they use McCaffrey wisely this year. But it's all about the offensive line. I mean, you're not going to win games without a good offensive line. You got to have that.
Do you think you have a good offensive line?
It supposedly is improved. What I've seen is that it's been improved from a lot from last year.
Okay,
so we'll find out.
Gotcha.
And I really hope the Redskins win NFC East. I really do. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, we're trying.
You are welcome on the show anytime.
Yeah, Giants. Yeah. I hate the Eagles with a passion.
Yes,
the fans here.
They're the worst fans in the NFL. They are.
Yeah. Now, Mark, I got an off-topic question here. You keep stroking this mustache here. Were we growing something out here last time?
No.
In person.
Hey, my golf ball. No, I got a giant.
I wasn't going to go there with that. I know. I know you got that.
I'm just doing. It makes me think. It makes you think I'm smarter than I really am.
Okay. you know, we're about to be in person.
Think about,
we're about to be in person here.
Let me think about that for a second.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I wish we had your Chase Young guy. You guys. I mean, you guys are healthy. I guess on most spots.
Yeah.
Going into the. I don't know. I don't know the status of the Redskins. But how do you feel about Wentz?
We're kind of on his side.
Come on, man. Who's your quarterback?
I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Like we recognize who he is, but we think, well, first off, because of who we've had for so many years have been so bad, he's a huge improvement already. But we think he's going to be more of a weapon. He's going to hit our wide receivers deep. He's going to hit guys you're not expecting to where I think we're pretty bullish on the fact that he's going to be a good quarterback for us. And same situation like you're talking about. He's on redemption because if he sucks this year, he's out of the league as a starter.
I know.
Got the chip. Yeah.
And the pressure's on. But Sam Darnold's guy, he knows he's the same thing. He's got to play well this year.
Yeah.
And I like the fact they haven't just named a starting QB because it puts the pressure on both guys.
Yes.
They got to play. They got to play good, or they're going to be. Baker wants to be named starter, and Sam Darnold he's on the cusp of being let go.
Right.
And I mean, nobody else going to want him. For pennies, the way he gets from what he gets paid now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
okay. So you said.
Let me ask you a question: would you rather have Baker or have Wentz?
Wentz.
Ooh.
Wentz. I'd go Wentz easily. What about you, Sean?
I don't know. I think I'd go Baker. I think Baker's got some mobility and that chip to me, Baker to me looks like he'd go up against like a group of people and just be like, and just him against everybody. I mean, Wentz is kind of more reserved.
Man, the guy, he is a competitor. That's what I like about him. He's a cocky. He's a competitor.
Yeah.
And this is something that's he's going in this season with a, like you said, chip on his shoulder. And I really think we're going to see the best Baker this year.
So the reason why I say Wentz is because I just sit back to the times that he has smoked us at FedEx so many times.
Yeah.
It's like I just that's what I have in my head. All right, so I got two questions for you. First one's going to be, you said that Matt Rule needs 9 wins in order to keep his job. What do you actually think is realistic for the Panthers? Looking at their schedule, what are you anticipating?
9 wins.
You are saying 9. So you think he's going to stick around?
I kind of hope he doesn't, but he's got to win 9. I think we're on the brink of making the playoffs with a wild card berth, but I don't. It's going to be. We have got to at least get 9 because we won 5. Then the owner Tepper's not going to put up with that crap another year.
That's what I was going to get to. Did Tepper inherit Matt Rule, or did he select him?
He selected him.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Because you've got a very eager owner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he wants to see wins. He does. He's getting anxious.
Yeah, but he's not quite Jerry Jones anxious, but he's still anxious.
No one could be that bad.
He's not going to. Yeah, but I think bringing Darnold in was a lot. I don't know how much Matt Rule had in that decision, but it obviously was a mistake, in my opinion, and paying him all that money, and just saying, oh, the Jets suck, so that's what. But the quarterback really is really good, and I mean, the first 4 games last year, I thought, man, I'm wrong. I'm glad to be wrong.
Right.
We're looking good, but then the Jets, that Sam Darnold, the Jets showed up, and making bad decisions. I'm talking about bad decisions. Cam Newton is Mr. Bad Decision. I mean, his accuracy is pathetic, and then he can zing that ball all day long. He can't do an Aaron Rodgers pass and hit that target that's 30 yards down and land that ball on him. And that's what Rodgers does, and that's why I like the Packers too. I like them before the Panthers existed.
So look, let me interject here because you brought him up. You brought him up. All right. You talked about the Super Bowl, and that's one thing because you were 15-1, and it was like, oh, okay. But last year, after Darnold started showing his colors, and then you messing with PJ Walker and then you bring Cam back. And then he scores right away. He scores on a,
And he goes, I'm back. I'm
back. Right. Gives himself a little penalty. And then what were your thoughts, man? What were your thoughts when he came back?
I was thinking, God, I hope he's not back. I'm just so sick of the grandstanding. I mean, nothing pisses me off more when we're down by 2 touchdowns and that dude gets a touchdown. And he's like doing this. And
right.
Your team is losing. Who gives a crap about you? The team is losing.
Yeah.
You're not Super Cam. Super Cam's losing. Check the scoreboard.
Right.
I mean, I can't stand that crap. I can't stand that grandstanding crap.
Yeah.
Do you think they brought him in to sell tickets if it was a bad season?
I don't know. They brought him in because they thought he could. They wanted to give him another shot to see if he could pull the team around. But
yeah.
But it's anyway. I think you guys should pick him up. We'll take Heineke back.
Thanks.
Yeah, Heineke was a Panther. We'll take him back.
He was.
You guys can have Cam. You took our coach, my favorite coach.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to move on to Saturday's game, okay? What I would like to hear from you is what are you looking to see from the Panthers? Because neither one of us care who wins. And obviously, injuries is the number one thing we want to get away, walk away with healthy. So, but who are some players or that you want to see from the Panthers? Maybe some backups, maybe some rookies.
I want to see
you're looking
great
for.
corner play. I want to see J.C. Horn live up to his number 1 draft pick potential.
Where'd he go to school?
J.C. Horn?
Yeah.
No. Maryland?
No.
I don't know.
He's a Gamecock.
He's a South Carolina Gamecock. That's right. I knew that.
God.
He is a Gamecock.
Yeah. Who else? Who else are you looking to see?
Well, I want to see our defense play like the start of last season. Who was number 1 defense in the league? The Panthers. We were dominant. I mean, and I was watching NFL Network, and the game ball went to the Carolina Panthers defense. We had the number 1 ranked defense in like week 3, I think it was. And I want to see our defense play up to par, and I want to see good quarterback play, and I just want to see the offensive line give the quarterback time. I want to see how well they can block, and I don't want to see him. I don't care about McCaffrey zinging around. I don't want him out there getting hurt.
Right there you go.
I'll be happy if he didn't even play.
Yep,
sure.
I don't. We don't need the guy's already shown what he can do.
Right.
Well, I'll put him out there.
Yeah.
And so,
you're looking to
I
see
need the
some
defense. I want to see the defense play like they're able to play, and I want to see. And I want to see the offensive line block like what they're advertised as being so improved this year.
All right, so defense
and the Redskins going to lose by 2 touchdowns.
Fine, we'll take it. Sean, what are you looking to see out of our team this Saturday?
Honestly, to his point, he's looking at the secondary for Carolina. I'm looking at the wide receivers for Washington. I think with as good as those corners are. Yeah. Our wide receivers, we have just as much excitement for our wide receivers and Terry McLaurin, your old boy Curtis Samuel, and our new guy Jahan Dotson. We're so excited to see what he can do, and that against your number 1 ranked defense, we want to see how that levels up, and we want to see what Wentz does. Let's go. Be honest. We've been talking back and forth about Wentz from day one. Now there's another team with a different jersey, we're game plan for him. Let's see what you can do. Yeah. Show me something. That's where I'm at.
I want to see Baker play well, but I want to see him have time back there and give Baker time, and we're going to do well. And I want to see Jeremy Chin, one of the best athletes in the NFL, in my opinion, and he's back there with the J.C. Horn. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I hope the starters stay out for at least a quarter. Is that what you heard? A quarter?
We're playing 15-20 plays, so that's about one drive.
Yeah.
that's a drive, and that maybe two, and that's about it.
We don't need 3 plays, man. We talking about?
Who are
And
you?
then take them out. Wow.
Because DJ Moore's going to score a touchdown?
Yeah, right. Rely on the Brown, all right?
Yeah. I'm actually going to go.
I'm telling you, the 2 Clemson QBs going at it Friday night, I'm not going to miss that. We're not going out. I told White we ain't doing crap Friday night. I got to see that game.
I think you're getting a little excited over preseason football. I'm going to be completely honest with you here.
I'm so happy football is back. God, I hate professional baseball.
Yeah.
I like college baseball. I don't watch professional baseball. Hockey is done.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the dead time of the year.
It is.
Yep.
It is. Well, I think it's interesting. So you're talking about how you want to see your defense, and that's actually what I'm looking for out of ours. I want to see some of our defensive backs and the backups out there. I'm looking for Sean. You talked about earlier. Corn Elder coming in as our number 4, maybe number 5 corner. I want to see what he does out there. I want to see the dude Channing Stribling that we talked about earlier. Is he a better player than Trapkey? Is that a possible? And then I want to see our 2 safeties, the guys that they think are gonna get more playing time, Derek Forrest and Percy Butler. If we're hearing about them in training camp, can they play? Can we go 3 safeties? Can they be interchangeable with some of with Cam Curl out there and play in the box, play deep? So that's kind of what I'm looking for. But then the other thing is I'm looking for 1 splash play out of Jamin Davis. I want to see a play where he reads, reacts, and makes a play. Think back to that game against the Giants in the week 18.
Yeah.
And he stuffed them it was a running play, and he waited. He didn't get beat by it was one of those read options. He stayed back. They handed it, and he charged and stuffed the guy. I think it was on a 4th down play, 3rd or 4th down. That's what I'm looking to see from Jamin Davis, because that's going to see do we got a player? Or do we need to go out there and get a Quan Alexander because we're in trouble? So that's kind of what I'm looking for out of Saturday.
I hope that we play Baker for that's 20 plays, and then we put in Sam Darnold because we don't care if he gets hurt.
Yeah, you're clearly one-sided in your quarterback.
Matt Corral, the kid out of Mississippi, he is looking awesome in pre.
I think he can hop.
He is awesome.
Yeah.
He had like a 69% completion percentage last year at Mississippi. He is a good quarterback.
So he was not upset over the trade.
He's going to be our number 2. I guarantee it. No time at all.
So he was not upset over the trade for Baker. Kind of the idea, because if Baker pans out,
I don't know this detail. This kind of stuff you guys know. I don't know that stuff.
Okay. All right.
I don't live football, but I like it a lot.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, Mark, we really do appreciate you coming on here. Like I said,
real quick. Now, see, you've been pulling up your cup, and that my fiance's from that area, and her parents are diehard West Virginia fans.
Oh yeah, man, I love them.
Oh yeah. Okay, so
what's that connection?
I go skiing every year in West Virginia. Every year, West Virginia.
Okay.
I've rafted the Gauley 3 times. I've rafted the New River like 3 or 4 times.
That's a good river.
State, and it is awesome whitewater rafting up there.
Yes, it is.
And Snowshoe is the best ski resort in the Mid Atlantic by far.
Okay.
So nothing comes close to it.
Yeah, that is a pretty part of the state.
And they love their football team, and I just like the Mountaineers.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So look, we are a football show. We talked about the Panthers and everything, but there's been many references towards Clemson, towards South Carolina, Virginia Tech. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, so I'm a Tar Heel myself.
Well, you're a Tar Heel, so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Is NC State as good as advertised? They were ranked number 12, like 11 or 12 in some of these polls.
Right.
And my son is a freshman, so I bought 2 tickets to State is playing Wake Forest their homecoming game. It's going to be the best. That's going to be the best game in Raleigh this year.
Oh yeah.
And Wake Forest is ranked up there, top 15.
Right. But look, you heard about
those are 2 best QBs in the ACC this year. I've got.
You don't know, Sean. Go teach him.
So you didn't hear about Hartman?
No, what's up?
There was an undisclosed injury that has him out indefinitely at the moment. We don't know what exactly it is, but they haven't said for sure that he's not going to be out for the rest of the season. They just said he's out indefinitely for the moment and they've been doing scans and whatnot. So we don't know what exactly
something
happened.
Serious.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is disappointing because he's a great story himself.
and being helping Wake be relevant is a very cool thing.
But I've heard they just don't have the defense like State's defense is supposed to be like. They have the best linebackers in the ACC this year,
right?
And they've got the best corner. So they're playing. Who are they playing first? The first week one, East Carolina. We're gonna get beat. I'm not going to go to that game. It's going to be such a bloodbath. I'm not going to go and watch us lose. But it's a noon game. I debated it, and I'm just going to.
It's hot.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Carolina Ale House, watch it on the big screen.
That's probably a better idea.
Yeah.
And how is Mike Houston doing there, my JMU guy?
Oh, he's doing awesome, man. The team's turned around. It's taking him some time to do it, but he's bringing the talent, and we are much more competitive now than we were before. State is not. I don't think they're going to blow us out like they've done the last 2 years. Yeah. But we're still going to lose by probably the line.
What conference is East Carolina in?
And AAC.
Yeah.
AAC. So who do they play?
Navy. We play Temple, Memphis. That's right. Yeah. Central Florida and South Florida. And we play Cincinnati and
Cincinnati. Okay.
Cincinnati. They're leaving Houston. They're both leaving after this year.
Where are they going?
That's right.
They're going to Big 12, I believe. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
All right.
They signed on to go to the Big 12, Cincinnati and Houston? Really?
They're filling in the slots of Texas and Oklahoma.
That's right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I only focus on the big boys, folks. I don't focus on those other ones. I don't pay attention to mid.
Focus on the Gamecocks, but powerhouse team in the SEC who wins every year.
They're getting there. They're going to be there.
Well, yeah.
Wait.
Wait. Will, why don't you focus on your other team? Let's talk about Maryland and their lackluster defense. Maryland gave up like almost 40 points a game last year in Big Ten play.
Yeah. Maryland cannot compete in the Big Ten. They cannot compete. I feel so bad for that coach because he's local. He has individual players. He has been able to get, like, I call them DBU. I call them wide receiver U. They have skill players. Yeah. But they can't put it all together, and they'll never be able to compete. They'll win a couple games against Indiana and Illinois, and then they go play Michigan and get boat raced, and then Ohio State comes and get boat raced, and it's just like you're losing games 59-13. Like, what are you doing out here?
By the way, East Carolina fired their coach, Scotty Montgomery. Guess where he went?
Maryland.
That's right. That, man. We had to pay him anymore. We had to pay him. It was like $400,000 a year, and he went to Maryland. Done.
$400,000 a year. You all can't afford that. Come on.
You don't want to pay that to a freaking losing coach.
South Carolina's paying Will Muschamp like $5 million a year to go away. I mean, what's that?
Good gracious.
Yeah.
Who's starting for you guys? Is it still Steve Ehlers?
What's that?
Who's starting for East Carolina?
Holton Ahlers, the quarterback. He's a fifth year. Yeah.
Okay.
He can run. His accuracy is all.
Is he the lefty?
He has good. Yeah, he has. Yes, right. And he's a big boy, and he can run the ball. And he is not he's a college QB all day long. He has no zip on the ball. It's like a law passes
gotcha.
And he has good games though. But he has when he stinks, he really stinks it up.
Right.
State's defense, I think they're gonna eat him up. We're going to lose by 3 touchdowns. I know we are. I'm afraid we're not. The line's 10. I would take State on that any day of the week.
Oof. There it is. Yeah. There it is.
We're going to lose by 3 touchdowns. I hate to say it. Damn it. Yeah. I really hate that. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, Mark, we really appreciate you coming on and talking some ball with us. Like I said, we're really excited about doing this, getting the other fans' perspective. Obviously, as you know, we do a lot of reading, so we do have our own. But it's good to hear what your perspective is. So we certainly appreciate that.
I'll say this in summary: you're going to be facing a improved Panther team. Even though it's preseason, you won't see the starters that much.
Yeah,
we are improved from last year. And just bring some tissues in case you guys get upset.
Wow. Now, look, remember, this is all on tape. So we can rewind this and be like, what did you say about it?
Yeah.
I tell you, I'm just – I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the guy – I'm going to tell you, I would love to see the Matt Corral in there playing. Yeah. It is his name, Matt Corral.
Yes.
Matt Corral in there playing because he's a – I'm telling you, I watched a lot of some stuff from the practice field, and he looks that dude can zip the ball. He can. he's going to be playing, and I hope Darnold's going to be in there some too as well. But I'm hoping Baker is going to be in there with the first stringers. I'm not sure how they're going to do that.
I like the pick of Corral. I really did.
Yeah.
As someone to develop.
Now, how is he? Because I know in college, towards the end of the season, he had that ankle injury, and that I think that he slid a little bit because of that. Is that over and done with?
Yeah, as far as I know, that's over. I had not heard a thing about that.
Okay.
I follow the Panthers on Facebook. That's about I'll look at, and an article come up and I'll read it, and that's about as far as I go. You guys study it every day. but anyway, I'm pulling for your team unless you're playing us. But I'll say this too: there is no division in the NFL where the opposing teams in the conference, in their division, that hate each other as much as NFC East.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys hate the Cowboys, you hate the Eagles, you hate them all, and I think it's fucking. I'm sorry, excuse my language. Freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's the truth. It's the truth. It's
is.
football. The way
I'm from Raleigh, and I mean the Patriots fans. They're so freaking. There's all these Northerners that moved in. They're so obnoxious. Yeah. And wife and I had crap thrown on us at the Eagles game. People talking. Yeah. And in Charlotte, we're in Charlotte watching the Eagles game, and if they're talking crap to me in the bathroom, talking crap to my wife in the stands, we left.
That's Eagles fans for you.
It was unbelievable. I told her, I said, if we were in Veterans Stadium wearing these jerseys, they'd be throwing beer and all kinds of crap on us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They're awful.
They're awful. They are. I mean, you saw the video that they're playing Vikings in the playoffs, and they're throwing full beer cans at these people walking into the stadium. It's just Eagles fans are obnoxious, man.
Yes,
they really are.
Yes, they are.
We want to go.
Well, guys, first loss of the season is going to be Saturday, so enjoy.
You can have it. You can have it. And I agree with what Colin wrote there, Sean, about NFC North is probably the next, where they all hate each other. I certainly agree with that.
I like the Packers now. Aaron Rodgers is going to be the man this year. Packers defense this year. Look how they're going to be awesome this year. You'll see.
We shall see. Yeah.
He has nobody to throw to. That's his problem.
Yes.
There's nobody to throw the ball to.
Sean, I think you're muted. I think the thing died.
I can't hear you, man.
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
The headset probably died, or maybe it came out.
Still can't hear you. All right. I'm going to sign off.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
See you, buddy. All right, man. Later.
Nah, we got nothing.
Yo.
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, buddy. So yes, we definitely want to say thank you so much to Mark Page for joining us, talking about his Panthers. Will, I'm now more hyped to see the game. I want to see what his defense does. I want to chop this stuff up and be like, what was that we were saying?
Right.
Yo, but shout out to him. So glad you were able to come on here, talk Panthers and talk a little college football with us. Definitely a great time. I appreciated that. Definitely more than welcome to come on here and rap with us again. Who knows? We might see you later down the year. Maybe not.
Packers. We'll see. Yeah,
we'll definitely see. So, Will, man, hey, Washington Football Weekly, we are here. Thank you for staying with us late. As you know, there are games on right now. Check those out. There are games on tomorrow. Check those out. And our game, 1 o'clock Saturday, we are playing the Panthers at home. And then after that, we go to the Ravens, right?
That's the last game.
No, Cincy.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. Well, we'll have to check. I'll go back and look at I don't remember who we go to next. I think I'm going to that Ravens game.
We go to the Chiefs.
We go to the Chiefs. Oh,
we do.
Interesting.
Those racist, the racist mascot and that racist chant.
What is this?
It's despicable.
Hey, we change
the name. Change the name.
Right. Oh man, always fun being on here and rapping with you and listening to somebody else who's like, I thought I dove into this, but y'all live this stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just trying to bring it to you the best way we get it, and it's therapy for us, and we hope it helps you as well. And at the end of the day, football is back, ladies and gentlemen.
It's back.
Yo, I'm so excited. So we are going to let you go. For myself, Sean Spencer, I got to go this way now.
Yeah.
My guy, South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer. I'm going to leave you at the end of the show with, we got a lot of different shows coming this fall. One of the ones we're doing is going to be on Sunday. It's called Let's Talk Football Sunday, or Let's Talk Football Game Day Preview. Myself, Nicholas Rosario, Nathan Snell, and the young reporter in the game, Dylan Walsh, where we give you the news and notes right up to game time, who's playing, who's potentially not, who you should look out for, what our thoughts are, and we bring you right up to kickoff. So we definitely want you to tune in with us on Sunday. We will be back with you next Wednesday with a recap of this game, preview the next game, and whatever news and notes are in the middle. So, Hey, we'll see you. We appreciate you. Ooh, excuse me. We'll see you next time. Peace, people.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up. Come on. The line. The line. New man so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae